Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Tried and Tested podcast. I am your host Tracey, and if you're not familiar with my show, this is a dating and relationship podcast where I discuss all things love, relationships, dating, marriage, breaking up, making up, money, and anything related to relationships in this day and age. So today I have a special guest, my boo Priscilla. Say hey, Priscilla.
Hey. Hey, how you doing? Hey, guys.
Hey, so thank you so much for joining us today. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into the topic. And so today we're going to be discussing how much is too much to endure in love, okay? So my first question is for you is what is your definition of love?
I feel like it changes over the seasons. Well, obviously when you're younger, you think like your like is love. But now I feel like love is like compromise. It's more of a bigger picture. It's more than just emotions. So I feel like love is compromise, seeing what that person is doing for you, like communication, all that rolled into one. It's just like more than just one thing. I can't even like point it in. Yeah.
So it's a whole lot of different things that make up, I guess, the word love.
Yeah. And so like love is like multi-dimensional type of definition.
Okay. So what would you say is a not love that people may confuse?
Obviously attraction is there, but like when you love the kind of like the lifestyle, I don't know, like like just like the surface of it. Like when you see like, oh, this person got a car, a ride, or whatever, like just kind of like the splashy part, that's not love. Like love is actually knowing the person, like deep, like the intellect, the communication, like, oh, what do we have in common? That's what love is. Like, oh, can I deal with this? Can you deal with me? Can you deal with me at my weakest moments and my strongest moments?
Okay. And I feel like I definitely agree. I would say that my definition of love is kind of like it's unconditional. Obviously there are different types and different levels of love, but it's just kind of like what you were saying. Like it's not the shallow things, it's not the money, it's not the looks. It's much more
because
deeper.
all that fades away.
Yes, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that. So it's more or less like your character. Can I deal with you when you're sick? Can I deal with you when you have an attitude? Can I deal with you maybe when you don't have any money or, you're going through a rough patch in life or whatever. So, love is much deeper than, I guess.
Can I deal with you at the lowest? Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the highest and even at the middle and even when you annoy me and stuff like that. So, yeah. So would you say that you have been in love before?
I thought I was. I thought I was the type of person that like, I'm in love and I'm like going to be ride or die. Like, okay, let me love up on you so much that like you're going to see that I'm such a great person. But like basically I was hurting myself, thinking that I'm loving you. You know what I mean?
Yes. Girl, that's facts. Because, I was, I would say, I've heard, I don't know if this is true, because like I said, there are different forms of love. I heard that true love never dies, but I would say that I have been in love before, but I don't think, I think it's kind of like what you said too. It's more or less where you are doing so much for the other person that it's like, it's more like sacrificial love.
You're burning yourself out. Like, it's like
for
you're
somebody,
you're giving,
Yes, and it's almost like you're doing it for somebody who may not appreciate it, or like you're doing it for the wrong person. So I've definitely been in love, and I've definitely been a whole clown in love. So have you ever been a fool in love?
Oh my gosh, yes. Like that is not even a question.
Well, do tell, please.
Okay, my last longest relationship, it was what do you call it? It was long distance. It was a long distance relationship, and I was doing the most. Like when I tell you, it was like I'm a fool in love. Like it's like you're seeing the warning signs, but you're ignoring it. Like I was always flying out. Like this person was in Atlanta. I was always flying out to Atlanta. He never came over to me. Red flag right there. Like I
Oh,
was always
wow.
like doing the most, like being housewife. Like I was basically like the little pretty trophy at home that you take
Mhm.
out to show off to your boys and everybody else. And then like when it comes to regular relationship life, it's like you're all about your business instead of like doing half business and half me, like, you know, like giving me some of your
Yeah.
attention instead of like you're drowning all your attention into your business and into all like the other aspects than the relationship. And then like when you want to leave and when you want to break up, that's when they be like, oh no, you know, this, that, and the third. You're like, okay, you know. So it's like,
No.
yeah, like the foolish in love, their aspect was there. Like just what I was saying earlier before, like giving your all to something that like is just like, it's more of a, like relationship is always give and take 50, like 100, like,
Yeah.
but like I was given 150 and I wasn't getting anything back. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely
Mhm.
hear you. And as far as like being a fool in love, I would definitely say like I think that and of course I feel like for me my first love, like I've mentioned that a few times on the podcast, like my first love I think was definitely because I think that when you don't have an example that you're really looking at or you don't have like because you
Yeah.
may see love on TV, but you don't, that's not a personal
Right.
example where you like know what the
Exactly.
business is and what they're doing. So for me, like, girl, I was
Mhm.
out there like ready to nuck if you buck. Like I was, you know, with different women and stuff. Like I
Right.
was really, like I was doing the most. And it's just like
Oh,
all in the name of
you
love.
was
But
that
then
guy.
well, I mean,
You
because
was
I
that
felt like
one.
I was being, it was like I had the wrong person, and this man, like I was in a
Right.
relationship and I was in love, but I don't think that he would. Now I know he was not, and so it's kind of like. But what
Mhm.
happened was once you get past the like being in love, it becomes a game of I don't want to lose.
Mhm.
Like I don't put my time and my effort
Yeah.
in, and you know she's
Yeah.
or he or whoever, like they're not gonna win. So you kind of end up being in a place where you know it's it's like a game. Like you just feel like you have to win.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna get the best
Yeah.
of me, and then that's just not love. That's just stupidity. So yeah, I've definitely been.
You're
Um,
I actually have a question for you. You brought that up, like, oh, you're in love with like the end game. Like, so do you think that at a point in your in relationships, right, you think that you're in love, but like then you're just in love with the concept of love, like, and that's what you're fighting for?
well, I don't even think it's the concept of love. I just feel like it was more or less to save face. Because I remember one
Mhm.
time this particular guy, like he mentioned marriage, and when he said it, like my face dropped and my
That is
heart
our
dropped because
weakness.
I was, no, but no, I'm talking about dropped in a negative way. Like I was in my mind, like
Oh.
I would never marry you. And that's
Oh.
weird, right? Exactly.
Yes.
But that's how I realized that it wasn't about love. It was about you embarrassed me so much that I have to make
Mhm.
sure that I stay safe. Like
Mhm.
I can't go out like that. And so that's what it
Mhm.
was. But I didn't, the end game was it wasn't you. I think at that point we had already gotten to the place where I feel
Mhm.
like everything about you I don't like. Yet here I
Mhm.
am. You know what I mean? Like it's just that
Yeah.
you run me into the ground. And I was
Mhm.
looking a hot mess out in these streets. I had gained so much weight. I don't know if I was
Oh
asleep. I don't know
no.
what I was doing. Yeah, it was bad.
Like you lost your glory over it. It's
Yeah,
like you
it
lost your
was
glory
bad.
over it. Yeah.
Not even
Like
that.
me,
Like
yeah.
no, go
In
ahead.
my case too, like, that the word marriage was thrown out. And I feel like at one point in the relationship, the reason why I even stayed that long is because like, I was like, I was fighting to make this relationship better, to make this person better. So like when we reached that goal of, oh, marriage or whatever, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm like the perfect shiny wife and girl, like wife and like I'm like the end all be all, but it's just like basically I was
Yeah.
hurting myself at the end of the
It's
day. So yeah.
That's right. Because when you like, I
Mhm.
feel like what you said about make the person better. Like I
Mhm.
tried to make that person better than I tried harder in that case than I've ever
Oh
tried to make
gosh.
my own self better. So that was bad. But like I said, this we're talking
Exactly.
about enduring too much in the name of love or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
So, all right. So when does the line cross? Like when you feel like okay, at this point you need to kind of just dead it. At what point, like, do you feel like when you go from love to you just kind of go, like you're just doing too much, you're being a fool? Like, when does that, I guess,
No,
point
seriously,
hit?
when like when you even brought up the word, when you're embarrassed, when you're hurt, when like it's basically you're hurting yourself for this person instead of this person uplifting you. Like, of course you're going to have hard times in relationship. No relationship is perfect, but like when it's more of like 99.9% of it being like trash, like you have to just look at yourself. You just have to look at yourself like, sis, like, what are you really doing? Like, why are you wasting your oil? Why are you wasting your precious time? Like, that's another thing too. It's like you have to look at yourself as a person, because like you have to know like what your value is. Like, when you don't know what your value is for yourself, like you expend yourself out to be like this person who's being used and abused by your partner, and like you're just draining yourself until like you're all done, and like you're just like miserable and bitter and everything. That when you like, and you don't want to get to that point, you have to like know, like, even like you see the red flag, the first red flag, you're like, oh wait, let's stop here. Like, why am I doing this? But like obviously sometimes like we say like, oh, love is blind, or like we're just like in it just to be in it, or we're settling, and like it really hurt us and damaged us, and like it's better for us to like see it the first few weeks, the first few months even, like not try to go through the years, but like we have to see it and see like what's better for ourselves. Like sometimes it'll hurt so much, but it's better for us to just let it go. And then sometimes too, we don't even see it. Yeah, we don't even see that in our own environment. So that's what influences our own like relationships when we grow up and when we experience them. Yeah.
And I mean, I definitely agree. I feel like, and I always say this, like if anybody mentors young women and young men, because usually a lot of these things can happen when you're younger. You just don't, you think that you know everything. You feel like I know better than this person. I know better than that person. So yeah. And obviously, like I know you said that you've also been in a similar situation. So you do know that your mindset at that time is different. Sometimes it can strain your relationships with other people, like your friendships can get ruined or, you know, with your family and friends. So it's definitely, it's like whether you have common sense or not, it's probably like what would have happened maybe 10 years ago can't happen now because you know better and you understand like it's not something, you know, that you should do.
And sometimes and sometimes it's hard to say, but like those kind of relationships like really help mold you and everything like that. But still, like when you have like a solid knowing of yourself and knowing your worth and like knowing like yourself in Christ and everything, that like it literally molds you like to be like, oh wait, I was, you look back on your past, you're like, wait, what was I thinking? Like, you look at it like, what? That was me feeding over this person, like doing this X, Y, and Z for this person, sitting there being embarrassed over this person, like, oh my gosh. It's just, but like, it's just also like, oh wow, I don't need to walk down that road ever again.
Yeah, and it also depends on the person you are. I would say because during that time, I do remember like, obviously like if you have a certain type of characteristic, you may deal with things that you didn't expect to deal with, but you won't deal with it for so long. So I feel like for me, like it just got to a point, I remember, and I think I just mentioned this on another podcast, I remember like this man, like I said, he was the worst kind of person. And not even that, like he was so bad that even after we broke up, it's like he didn't want anybody else to date me. And so like the lies and the deceit and the things that he did and said, like even if 10 years later.
He was trying to blacklist you?
Well, I mean, it kind of sort of works, but I feel like those people are not people that I really deal with anyway. Like we're not the same type of people. So, but that's what it was. And because I had just moved to the area, it's like, I didn't really know what to do. So I'm just young and dumb. But yeah, like you also have to be careful with the people that you deal with because you don't know. People are wicked. You know, it's like you did me dirty in love, and then after that you try to do me dirty in my character. You try to drag me through the mud, yet you were still checking for me. So it's kind of like, it's
that's
definitely, it is. It's definitely a wicked person. It's like a lot of, you can open a lot of negative doors with dating the wrong person. And so it's kind of like in your mind, you're doing your best, you're giving your all, and it's like, whoa, that was more like, really.
Yeah, he was more like, if I can't have you, no one can.
Yes,
oh my God.
But then it's the levels that people go to and the things they say, which is really like, it's dangerous. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I thank God that I'm not in that situation anymore. And I think, like I was saying, so for me, it was just one day. I think, I went over to where he lived and he went to take a shower and I think I just happened to check his phone And I remember like we couldn't hang out like New Year's Eve, and I didn't know why. I think he was sick or something. But then I saw his phone that he was, you know, dealing with somebody. I'm like, nah. And I got in my car, and that was it.
Wow.
Like, we just broke up. Like, that, I couldn't, like, you know, it's after you get to a point, you're just like, nah, it's too much.
Yeah,
like,
when enough is enough, when enough is enough. Like, seriously. When, like, it just, like, breaks. Like, like, me, like, when I was, before, even now, but now I know, like, when to be like, okay, nah, like, stop. I won't, drag it too long. But, like, before, like, me, like, I was like, oh, let me give you a chance, let me give you another chance. Like, me, like, I was always, like, in a relationship, I was like, okay, let me go as hard as I can, and I could walk away and say, like, oh, I did all I could do, like, with the relationship.
Yeah.
So, like, that was me, like, even though, like, it was not a good thing, like, even though, like, I was like, okay, these, like, time after time after time, like, you're like, okay, why am I not walking away? And you try to, like, make that excuse, like, okay, I'm going to try the hardest at this relationship, like, but sometimes, like, you just, like, it's okay to walk away. It's actually healthy to walk away than just, like, stick to that
But I see exactly what you mean, because I feel like in, like, years ago, like, for me, this is all from, like, over a decade ago. But I feel like with those kind of situations, because you want to feel like you've exhausted every option so that you don't have to go back. Because, you know, I've tried everything I could do, you know. But, all
you
right,
don't want to have that what-if question.
Yes. So I was going to say, what about friends? Like, do you have any friends where, because this is you looking in a situation, not your own. Like, do you have any friends that you've seen in a situation like this where you're just like, bruh, how much is too much? Like, when are you going to let it go? Have you seen that? And also, like, what's an example of something?
Seen it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there is this one person I know. I'm not even going to say, like, the orientation, how I know them. So this one person I know, like, this person is with, I'm going to say he or she. This one person has a boyfriend, right? Has had, I don't know, I'm not in their relationship anymore. But, like, literally the guy would, like, at first it was, like, sneaky cheating, but then it ended up being openly cheating.
He ain't care no
and
more.
then it's just like, even like when they went to like the spa, like she saw on her phone, like his phone, like, oh, the girl text messaging him and everything like that, and that same girl, like a few times like later, was the one who she saw walking away from his house. And it's just like, what? Like, it's just like, why are you still with this person just because they got money, just because they got resources? Like, that doesn't mean that, like, it's like, but it's just like also mindset. It's just like also knowing, like, oh, what you're worth or what you want to still deal with. Like, if you want to deal with that, like, it's, you know, and it's just like, you, like, no matter how many people say it, just like how in my relationship, like, people will say, like, oh, yeah, just leave him, whatever, he's not good for you, whatever. But, like, you won't see it until you finally see it yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
You, like,
and I have
no
friends,
one can...
I have friends, like, who in the same situation where, like, they continuously, like, didn't leave. Like, so maybe if I was with someone for 3 years going through nonsense, they would be with them for 10 years. And I'm like, whoa, like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Because at this point, it's just plain toxic. Like, it's toxic. And it's also, like, obviously, whatever self-esteem you did have, you probably have nothing left. And it ends up being a cat and mouse game. And so,
and it's like you're settling.
Yes. And I've seen people go through it. I'm talking about one of the girls I know, she said that her hair was falling out. Like, people really get stressed to the point, they get stressed to the point, they get crazy to the point. And, you know, we're talking about enduring in love, but it's also one of the saddest things I feel like for me is, one, to actually deal with somebody for so long. Like, if you know after, you know, month 6 or year 1, this person is no good, it, like, really hurts me to see women and men, because men go through it too, to be in situations for so long. Or let's say you do break up, you have people who you're officially broken up and maybe the man has moved on, yet you're still dealing with him. right? So every couple of months, and you're very single. Yes, you're very single, or even if you date here and there, but this person is a major part of your life, and so you're still enduring because the feelings are not going away. You're not allowing yourself to heal and to be done, and it's just like a continuous cycle, which is like, to me, it's sad, especially when we're young women. Like but people don't. Like, people will endure to the death of them, and it's like, bruh. Woo!
Like, what I found helped me was, like, to throw everything of that person away. Like, and delete, block, whatever I need to do just to detox you out of my life. Because, like, it doesn't help to, like, for you to let go of, was, like, a reminder of that person in your face, texting you, clothes or whatever. Yeah.
But some people, like, I think it's a continuous cycle of, like, coming back. It's almost like a circle. It's like, it's a legit cycle that, you know, it could be 6 months later, it could be a year later, but it's like you pick up right where you left off, and it'll be the whole, I love you, I this, I that, and I feel like that's torture, you know?
Yeah.
But anyhow, let me see. So, I guess one of my last questions before we do get off is that, do you think it's a lesson or a waste of time by staying? So when you're staying in a toxic situation where you surpass love and now you're just enduring for the sake of being in a relationship, what do you think?
When you're just enduring to be, like, we were saying that before, that's when, like, it becomes toxic. Like, it's not on the matters of love and, like you're just holding on to the name of love. But is it truly love, or is it like your love, like you're in a trap, like, or you're just stuck? Like, literally, like, when it comes to that stage, like, and sometimes, like, it becomes, like, abusive, mentally, physically, emotionally, like, abuse, and you're just, like, basically stuck in that situation, and it's just, like, you feel like, oh, you can't, like, if you leave this person, you can never date somebody, nobody else will want you, or how can you move on? Like, that's like a mental trap when, like, so you're just in there.
All right, so do you think it's a lesson, though, or a waste of time when you end up staying in that trap situation?
I feel like it's a waste of time because, like, you can't get that time back.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Like, you... Yeah.
Oh, go
ahead. No, I'm saying you just can't, like, what are you doing? Like, you can't get that time back.
I definitely agree. So, well, we are wrapping it up. So I just want to say thank you so much, Priscilla. And before we go, is there any last, like, words you want to say on this topic to the listeners?
I want to say, know your worth before you get into a relationship, and know what you want, and, like, agree between both parties, like, what is your goal in this relationship. If you guys are both okay with just dating, that's cool. If you guys are okay with just doing at whatever level you want to do, if you want to go to marriage, like, vocalize that before you get into the relationship, and just fill that person out. Never rush into the relationship, because, like, that can also save you so much time, so much hurt, so much pain, and let it go. Like, you guys can, like, mutually discuss, and, like, don't ever force somebody to be like, okay, oh, I just want to date, and then you want marriage, and, like, you try to force them to want marriage. Like, you should be on equal levels, be equally yoked in this relationship, because,
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Yes. And then, okay, so if anybody wants to get in contact with you, or, you know, has any questions, or wants to follow you on social media, where can they reach you?
Oh, yes. Follow me on Instagram. I'm most active on my Instagram. It is Princilla.B, and my name is spelled PRINCILA.B as in boy.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. And to my listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And until next time, have a good one.